Let's get tropical once more. Hello everyone, it's Lel and I am missing the tropical moments we had with Tropical-Rouge Precure. So this is the best time to do this because I am feeling my Tropical-Rouge blues right now. I'm missing those girls so much. So it's time to get tropical. It's time to tropicalize once again. And in this video, I'm going to talk about my 5 favorite episodes from the Tropical-Rouge Precure season. It's a top 5, from the one in 5th place to the 1st place. Obviously, 1st place is favorite. And I'm also going to share some of the opinions of the members of the Magical Cinema channel too, that share their opinions with me concerning their favorite Tropical-Rouge Precure episodes as well. So to start, number 5, 5th place, I'm going to start with episode 44, What's Most Important to the Witch. This episode was really amazing. Since the first time I saw Kira Oasis, I was blown away by her design. She was so beautiful, and there were so many theories concerning her story and what happened between her and the witch. And there were some clues to their story as well throughout the season. But their story ultimately surprised me to no end. I was not expecting to get so emotional. I was not expecting to love it so much. Annette's story and the witch's story, they were both gorgeous. And the fact that the witch's story was not really a complete one, and we only knew that she needed to destroy everything, made it feel more magical to me, like a fairy tale. You know, it felt like a fairy tale inside the real world of Tropical-Rouge. So that felt more magical and more tropical, let's put it like this. And so this was really an impressive episode. And another thing that I loved about this was when Oasis was already going away to live in Fantasyland with her best friend or her girlfriend, the Witch of Delays or the Witch of Destruction, or what's going to be her name now? I don't know. Oasis might give her her own name. But in that moment, we saw Cure Summer asking for her name. And I remember crying so much when I watched that because it was such a powerful moment, in my opinion. Because, you know, Manatsu, I loved her character so much, and there was so much every time she asked someone their names. It was so important to her character. It was so important to everything that was built in Manatsu's personality. So that was another impressive moment. And the fact that they also gave Kira Oasis a transformation, girl, I was not expecting that at all. That really, really blew me away. Now let's go to number 4, which for me was episode 16, The Witch's Trap. Laura was captured. So this was one of my favorite episodes of the season. I remember watching episode 16 and thinking, oh my god, episode 17 is going to be even better. And it was not, actually. Episode 16 was the episode prior to when Laura became Cure Lemaire. So there was already a big development over Laura wanting to be a human and wanting to have the human life and the human experience. But I feel like episode 16 brought another layer to that, which was sadness and a sense of not belonging. Because up until that point, we all saw Laura trying to blend in and Laura trying to understand more of the human world. And there were bits of sadness here and there. But in episode 16, they were really able to show that with the soundtrack and with Laura's close-ups and everything. And I feel like this episode was kind of gloomy. And the art direction really paved the way for something like that. And the pacing was also out of this world. I think that when it comes to Tropical-Rouge, there were lots of happy moments, there were lots of tropical moments, but when they wanted to get a little bit more gloomy, they didn't. They tried to keep the energy up. And in that episode, they let the energy be a little down. So I really like that. You know, I really like that. When they are able to mix with something that they have established for the season and change it up a little bit. So, girl, that was amazing. Now let's share some opinions of members of the Magical Cinnamon channel, starting with Cure Alpha 21, also known as Wing Light, an amazing artist. He's always creating his fan cures, and one of the episodes that he chose as his favorite was definitely, as he said, definitely Lemaire's introduction episode, which was episode 17, the episode next to the one that I just talked about. Now let's check out Kaguya Hyoku 12's opinion. Kaguya said, "I think my favorite is episode 12. The aquapod gets confiscated, so Laura had no choice but to try and get it back. It was funny seeing her try to act like a normal human, balancing on her tail to hide from that disciplinary committee member. Poor girl, can't convince anyone she's a real mermaid." I liked all the episodes around this one because Laura wanted to be a human more and more. Kaguya, I definitely agree with you. I really also loved all the episodes around this place and around the episodes that built Lemaire. Gorgeous. Tropical-Rouge blew me away. Now for number 3, this might be a surprise, but my pick for number 3 is actually episode 29, The Revived Legend, Precure Charm Up. This felt like a Precure movie to me, and I still think this is one of the best Precure episodes ever in the history of Precure. We never had something like this before. Like, honestly, we never had something like this before. And this was a powerful, powerful moment in Precure history right there. And if this top 5 was a top 5 best episodes, this would probably be number 1 because this is the best episode for sure. But best and favorite are 2 different things, I think. And so I'm choosing the ones that are like dearest to my heart in order. And so not exactly the best, but like definitely this episode blew us all away. One of the things that I felt that Precure lacked, that Tropical-Rouge Precure lacked, and I still feel it does, is the fighting scenes. And then we have an episode with one of the best fighting scene sequence of all Precure. And this is something that does not happen anymore, unless we're talking about last episodes. It does not happen anymore, and it happened in the middle of a season. And not only that, we had so much going on in that episode. Girl, what? But I feel like there was a member of Magical Cinnamon that was able to put into a small amount of words how amazing that episode was. And now you're going to check out Benjamin's opinion and his favorite episode, which is episode 29. Let's check it out.
Hey Leo, hey Magical Cinnamon crew. This is B Benjamin 88 reporting to tell you my favorite episode of Tropical-Rouge Precure. Definitely, hands down, episode 29. Nothing before or after compares to that episode. That is top-notch Precure right there, especially for that season. From the animation, from the fight scenes, from the soundtrack, the storytelling, the pacing, all of it was just beautifully done. The dream sequence, it was just beautiful. I mean, and then of course we can't forget about the debut of Cure Oasis, the beautiful Cure Oasis. I mean, she's green, she has a palm tree for hair, looks like she has green starfish for shoes. I mean, come on, it don't get no better than that. Then you got Butler summoning a Yaranega for the first time, and then the girls get a power up. All of it in one fantastic, fabulous episode. Don't get no better than that. So that would be my pick for the best episode of Tropical-Rouge Precure. I just loved it. There's really nothing that compares. So it was a pleasure speaking with you guys and hope to talk to you guys soon. Bye.
Benjamin really looks and sounds like an internet celebrity. Benjamin, why are you not a TikToker, a YouTuber, an Instagrammer? I don't know, because you have the soul of a celebrity. Anyways, Benjamin said it all. This episode had it all. It had fighting scenes, it had emotional moments. The direction was very artistic. We had Cure Oasis's debut. We had the power-ups for the first time. We had Butler attacking for the first time. We had lore, we had story, we had emotion, we had funny moments. We had it all. And Kururun getting laser eye beamed. Oh my god, Kururun, I'm so sorry about that. But it was not only Benjamin who chose this episode as his favorite one. Another member of Magical Cinnamon, Dinius, also chose this one, and he said, My favorite was the episode where the Precure were fighting an army of Yaranedas, which is episode 29, which they fought an army of water Yaranedas. Wing Light, or Cure Alpha 21, also chose this episode, mentioning it was Cure Oasis's first appearance. Now, for my number 2, it has to be episode 33, Viva! Tropica Shine in 10 Stories. Tropical-Rouge is probably one of the most chaotic and tropical Precure seasons, and I feel like this episode really embodies Tropical-Rouge as a whole. It's meaningless, it has no sense, it's so nonsense, and every episode has something nonsensic happening and funny and exaggerated and over the top, and this episode just brought everything together. I have absolutely no idea how they came up with the idea of episode 33, but this is another episode that goes down in Precure history. We never had something like this before, we might not even have something like this in the future, but I am so thankful that we had those amazing short stories. They were so funny, they were like different styles and everything, and it's very nice seeing Precure break away from the mold that has been established for so long, and like experimenting with different art styles and experimenting with different storytelling narratives. Amazing. Like, they should do it more often, once a season. I mean, but it was just incredible. What was your favorite short story? Mine was probably Jugemu, that played a lot in the magical girl genre and also in those YouTube things that the people do, YouTube montages that people do with all the attacks together. Loved that so much. But you know, there isn't one single moment of this episode that I don't love to death. Like, this is an incredible and powerful episode. I just love it. And Dinias also had this one as his favorite, mentioning the short, funny stories episode as his favorites as well. Now, talking more about other members' favorite episodes, we have Curious Seraph, also known as Pyro, who said, "It's a tie for me between the Melon Pond theft episode and the one Manatsu wanted to see the dolphins, but the waiting line was an hour long. Comedy was strong this season." And I feel like those two episodes, they had so many amazing moments. Like, when I think about both of them, I can remember like iconic things. The first of the Melon Pond was the fact that they were all investigating to see what actually happened, and Minori taking the role as a detective was top notch. And the dolphin episode also had like impactful moments for each of the girls as well, enjoying that ride. And I obviously remember Minori's moment with the jellyfishes that she loved so much. So that felt very sweet to me, especially because Minori is one of my faves and I love her. Now, more member favorites. Inu, or Baka Inubashi, you probably all know who Inu is. Inu chose episodes 31 and 38 as his favorites, and he justified by saying they have to go together because they're both episodes that focus a lot on Asuka. Another member also chose one of those episodes as her favorite, which is Courtney Draws. Courtney said that her favorite was when Asuka was going on the senior trip. It was so fun getting to know more about her relationship in the past with Yuriko, and her finding out about Asuka being Flamingo. It was also a great fight on the train. I found it hilarious that most of the team was chasing the train most of the time, and Laura also sneaking into Asuka's bag. Girl, this episode was really impactful. Also, another fave. You can't say otherwise. Come on. Really amazing. Now let's go to my number 1, which is actually episode 28. Cultural Festival. Do Aozora Makeup Together. So, Tropical-Rouge is a season that didn't have many character episodes. Like, when you look back at other Precure seasons, they have character episodes and they develop certain individual stories for each of the characters. In Tropical-Rouge, they tried something different. They kicked off their episodes, their stories in their debut episodes, and then they tried meshing in little details about each of the characters in the group episodes that were the most when it comes to Tropical Rouge. And then after episode 27, we had episode 28. Duh, obviously, Captain Obvious. But episode 28 kicked back the solo episodes. And then we had Minori's arc getting back again in traction, like having that be the main focus. And that episode didn't really start as that. So we had lots of things happening at one episode, and one of the things that I found amazing in the resolution of the episode was the fact that Minori was dealing with failure all this time, and we did not know. We knew that her story was rejected, and as Manatsu, our train of thought is to think that it was unjustified. It was unjust for her to be rejected by her literature club, by the literature club, which was her prior club before the Tropical Club. But it was not. Her story was bad, and she knew it. She knew that. And I love that the story of Tropical Rouge made her able to make mistakes. And they did not try to justify her mistakes. It was just bad writing. And she had to deal with that. And so she started expanding her worldview so that would impact in her writing more. And we would see later on that it was not only that would impact her writing. She would also need to get her groove back, which is not easy. And I feel like this episode also had some artistic shots and choices. It was very nice as well. And I also love the way Laura was able to get that conversation back by touching that topic that was very touchy for the other girls to talk about, because they did not want to mention the fact that Minori was part of the literature club and is not anymore, and she's not writing, which is something she loves. What's going on here? And Laura, being someone who is not part of society, or who was not part of society, was able to break that wall, break that barrier, because she didn't have the chains that bind us societal beings. She's a mermaid, she's a queen, and I love that. And that ends up impacting all the other characters this Laura way. But 28 was my favorite episode, and I absolutely loved it. So to finish this video, I just want to say that I loved Tropical Rouge so much, and I was very happy with this season. This is going to be a season that I will miss dearly. I will miss Manatsu's energy, I will miss Sango's cuteness, I will miss Minori's curiosity, I will miss Asuka's toughness, her sweet but tough side, and also Laura's grand queen personality. Amazing season, loved it, and those were my 5 favorite episodes. What were your favorite episodes? And before we finish, I want to give a big thank you to the members of the Magical Cinnamon channel who participated in this video. Thank you very, very much. But I left one member for last because I really loved their message. And I feel like it's able to close it all about how Tropical Rouge feels. So thank you so much for watching, but don't go away, because now we're going to check out Tracy's message. Tracy chose as their favorite episode, episode 29, and they said, if I had to pick, it would be episode 29. I personally don't have a favorite episode. I loved every episode this season. I feel that the point of the show was just to enjoy the moment and enjoy what's most important now.